Day 428 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 1394, find lucky integer in an array. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as well. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Given an array of integers R, a lucky integer is an integer that has a frequency in the array equal to its value. Return the largest lucky integer in the array. If there is no lucky integer, return -1. All right, y'all, so that sounds simple enough, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples anyway, just so we can be sure that we're doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have the input R equals an array of integers 2, 2, 3, and 4. Output is 2. Explanation says the only lucky number in the array is 2 because the frequency of 2 equals 2. So just to break this down one step further, right, we have 2 is our lucky number because we have two 2's, right? The value 2 is equal to the number of times 2 appears in this array, right? So since 2 appears 2 times, that's a lucky number, right? So the output is 2. Now, if it was a 3 that appeared 3 times, that'd be a lucky number, or 4 that appeared 4 times, those would be lucky numbers as well. So let's take a look at example 2, where we have multiple lucky numbers, and we have to pick the largest one. So in example 2, we have an input array. Our input R is an array of integers 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. The output is 3. Explanation says 1, 2, and 3 are all lucky numbers. We return the largest of them all. So as you can see, 1 appears 1 time, so that makes it a lucky number. 2 appears 2 times, that makes it a lucky number. And 3 appears 3 times, so that makes it a lucky number. But we want to return the largest lucky number in the array. So in this case, the largest number is 3 because it has 3 3s, or the largest lucky number is 3 because it has 3 3s, and it's the largest element in the array. So our output is 3. So let's look at example 2, where it's an example where there are no lucky numbers and we have to return -1. So in example 3, we have the array of integers. Our input is an array. Our input R is an array of integers 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. Output -1. Explanation says there are no lucky numbers in the array. So as you can see, this 2 appears 3 times, which is not a lucky number. We need 2 to appear 2 times. And this 3 appears 2 times, which is not a lucky number because we need 3 to appear 3 times. So since there are no lucky numbers in this array, the output is going to be -1. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution is not that difficult at all. It's actually quite easy to understand and easy to remember. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to be creating a dictionary, which will allow us to keep track of how many times each element appears. So for that, we're going to declare a variable called dict, set that equal to an array, or excuse me, a dictionary with the key being an integer and the value being an integer. Then we could come outside of that and initialize it with 2 parentheses like that. Now we need to count the frequencies, or count how many times each element appear. So for that, we can say for I and R, we're going to open up the brackets. We're going to say dict square bracket I, comma, default, :0. Come outside of that, we're going to say plus equals 1. So when we're going through the array, each time we see this, an element, which will be I, we're going to keep count of it over here. So this would be the element, and this side, the value, would be the counter, or how many times we see the element, right? So if we see I, or say 2 is I, right? We see 2, we put a 2 right here for I. Well, let me just show y'all like this, right? So say we have 2, right? So boom, we have our 2, and then we're going to start the value of 0. So we come right here, we see 1, 2, boom. So we're going to increment the value right here. So now it becomes 1. Then we come right here, now we see another 2. Boom. So now we're going to increment the value to 2 And then that's going to allow us to see if the key matches the value, then we'll be able to know that that's a lucky number. But for now, this is how we are going to keep count of that like that, and keep track of the frequencies with our dictionary. Boom. Then we're going to check each. Now we need to check to see if the key equals the value, right? So we're going to check each key value pair by saying for, open up the parentheses, key, comma, value. Then we are going to open up the brackets, and we are going to say, or we're going to see if the number appears exactly key times, then it's a lucky number. So if key equals value, like I just showed y'all, then we're going to say, oh, sorry, y'all. First, we need to create a result variable, which is going to store our output. So we can set that equal to -1 to start, because if there are no lucky numbers, we're going to return -1. So now that we have this result variable, now we're going to come right here and we're going to say result equals, we're going to say max, open up the parentheses, result, comma, key. So what this is going to do is going to start, because remember, we want the largest lucky number, right? So what this is going to do, this is going to get us the value, or the maximum value of result and key, right? So if the key is higher than the result, it's going to change the result to that key. We're going to start the result at a default value of -1, and then we're going to come right here, and if the result is whichever one is larger, the result or the key, that's going to be the new result. And then we could just come right here, and we can, underneath all of that, and we could just say return result, just like that, y'all. That should be all she wrote. That's all the code we need. Let's give it a run. Okay. Oh, sorry, it should be for key value and dict. Sorry about that, y'all. Now let's run it again, see if it works this time. It should. And it's accepted, y'all. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it stays accepted after we submit it. Ooh, look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users with Swift. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the numbers that I like to see. So with that being said, make sure you get one more look at the code. And I hope y'all learned something today. And I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.